us, I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. And then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that.
Hi there. Welcome to the Reaction Radar. Have we got a show in store for you today? Today is going to be a segment with Jake Tapper interviewing Markwayne Mullin, the senator from Oklahoma, and they're talking about the 757 gift that President Trump was supposed to be reviewing. To put things in context, we'll start out with this first clip with President Trump. Let's get into it.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not
only ABC? Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. And then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that. Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
Respectfully, sir, as a businessman, some people may look at this and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received anything?
It's not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know better, because you've been embarrassed enough, and so has your network.
All right, so that was the first clip. The second one is Jake Tapper doing an interview with Markwayne Mullin, forgive me. And so, again, they're going to be talking about, this plane that President Trump was referencing. Now, if you paid attention, he did say the plane is not for him. It's going to the Department of Defense, okay? Secondly, keep in mind, Jake Tapper is doing this interview. This is the gentleman that had plenty of segments on CNN. He's a CNN host, obviously, so you can look up this information. But he's had a lot of segments where he did interviews, and when they ask him about the condition of President Biden, or whenever he had a host on there about that, they kept denying the fact that President Biden had a medical concern or issue. However, after President Biden has left, now Jake Tapper with another person came out and wrote a book that is about President Biden, saying about his mental decline and physical decline that he had during the White House, which I believe is very distasteful and embarrassing. So you're making money off of the president when you knew there was an issue going on. But so keep in mind, this is the gentleman doing this interview. But with any further ado, let's get into this.
President Donald Trump accepting the luxury jet from Qatar. And as you know, after his term would be over, he would take that jet with him to his presidential library. It has been pointed out, not just by liberals, by conservatives too, that Bondi was previously a lobbyist on behalf of Qatar's government. Do you have any concerns about her being the person to give the clearance?
Couple things in this. First of all, there's no guarantee that it's going to go to the presidential library. What was said was when the plane is retired, it could possibly end up in the President Trump's presidential library. That's what was said. Now, a question, and I don't have any problem with Pam making an opinion on this. The real question is, Jake, why is this an issue? Could you explain to me why this is a big issue? Because I can't figure it out. The last time I checked, we were okay when France gave us the Statue of Liberty. And by the way, it worked out pretty good for them, because if it wasn't for America, I think Europe would look much different coming out of World War I and maybe World War II.
And that's a very interesting issue there. There's so much things that President Trump is currently doing for the United States of America, but it's not being mentioned. You're not covering that. Why are we talking about something that's not that major? Like, list his accomplishments. This is one of the accomplishments. And Senator Mullin is going to, go into a little more detail and let you know that this did not start with President Trump. This was from President Biden. President Trump just got, he was able to finish it and see it through. So I'm not sure why there is an issue about this.
So, could you help me understand why this is becoming an issue?
Well, in point of fact, when it comes to the Statue of Liberty, I think Congress authorized that, but it's not really, I'm not the one bringing it up as an issue as much as some of your Republican colleagues, Senator Ted Cruz. Well, just listen to some.
It wasn't brought up as an issue. They asked him if this is concerning.
Okay, and he said
Senator Mullin, this is awesome. This is awesome. The media like to change people's words and put words in their mouth. I'm so glad for this.
The plane poses, quote, significant espionage and surveillance problems. That's not true?
If you took it and you assume that the president's going to jump in it as it sets and ride along and have security briefings, there's no chance in the world that's going to happen. Anybody that knows anything about the intelligence world knows that, one, we're going to strip it completely down because the only thing we need is the frame. The interior and the electronics on a standard 747 will never work for the presidential Air Force One. It doesn't work. We have some air defense technology that doesn't come from Boeing. We have a lot of technology that's on there for the president to be connected so it can be the White House in the air. No chance that anything inside that plane stays inside that plane. So for anyone that has concerns, they don't even begin to understand our intelligence agencies.
So some of the concerns I've heard raised, and again by conservatives as well as progressives and liberals, are the fact that Qatar is the home country of the political leadership of Hamas. Qatar funds and has funded terrorism in the past. Qatar is the supplier of propaganda via Al Jazeera, and people do not think that Qatar. Now, I'm telling you what people are saying. This is not my opinion, and people do not think that Qatar is a good faith actor on the world stage.
It's funny when.
Well, if this is not what you're saying, and this is what people are saying, you are the media. Isn't it your job to put the correct information out there so that people can be well informed and not put out misrepresentation, misguided information? You are the media. Who else is supposed to do this?
When you address that as people and you're not giving names on this. Now, you and I have a great relationship. You said
I can give you a name.
Conservative.
Ben Shapiro. He's a conservative. Okay. That's just one. But that's
Ben Shapiro is also a talk show host, which we can go down that road. We can do whatever we want to on that one. People's a right to their opinion. But the facts remain. Why wouldn't the country of the United States take a 747? But here's what's interesting to me. What the media isn't telling you, what no one's talking to you about, is this same 747 has been in negotiations for a year. The Biden administration is the one that started these conversations. It didn't start underneath the Trump administration. Why? Because we need a backup for Air Force One.
Wow, did you guys hear that?
Because right now the president of the United States is flying around on a 40-year-old plane and there is no backup for it. The backup we had, the airframe started having structural issues.
So there it is. You heard that. But when you listen to the political party from the opposite side of the field, they're saying that, oh, Trump wants a palace in the sky. He wants this. He wants riches. He wants glory. You heard this. This was in the work since Biden was there a year ago. The airplane is due for an upgrade. It's 40 years old. But what are your thoughts on this? Thank you for joining in the show. As usual, if you like it, please give me a thumbs up, a like, and drop me a comment. Until we meet on the next one, please stay informed and engaged.